It was about 11 p.m. on this cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico. A 28-year-old man walked away from his family to use the bathroom real quick, and he never came back. Hours later, this dude woke up alone in the middle of the ocean. No cruise ship in sight, no life jacket, and no way to float. His name was James Michael Grimes. He was a 28-year-old traveling with 18 family members. Everybody got together for a Thanksgiving cruise traveling aboard the Carnival Valor. And it was supposed to be a normal trip, quality family time, food, drinks, partying, all the good stuff. They were sailing through the Gulf of Mexico, a huge stretch of water between the US and Mexico. And honestly, just thinking about being stranded out there alone in the middle of the ocean, pitch black at night, is terrifying. Like I could not imagine. On that night, November 23rd of 2022, everything still felt normal until it didn't. So earlier that night, James had been with his sister. They were hanging out, talking, enjoying the cruise. Reports later said that he had been drinking earlier that night. He was partying. That's what people do on cruises. You drink beer, you drink wine, you drink the little shots that they got passing around everywhere. That's what you do on a cruise. But to be clear, there has never been a confirmed public explanation about how James fell off the boat. And even James himself said that he doesn't remember falling off the boat. And honestly, I think that's one of the first questions people think of when they hear this story is how the hell do you fall off a cruise ship on accident and wake up hours later in the middle of the ocean with no memory of it? At some point when hanging out with his sister, he said, "Hey, I'll be right back, going to the restroom real quick." It was a simple moment, nothing unusual, no warning that something was about to go wrong. And then he disappeared. Sometime after 11 p.m., that's when James went overboard. No one saw it happen. There's no confirmed moment of when someone said that's when he fell overboard. Even James himself has no memory of it. One moment he was on the ship enjoying himself. The next moment he's in the middle of the ocean, pitch black, by himself. And I think that's one of the scariest parts of this story. James had no time to prepare, and there was no moment where he realized what was actually happening. So at this point, James is in complete darkness. No lights, no ship, just water in each direction. And right away, there's a problem. He couldn't float. He has said in interviews that he's not the type of person that ever learned how to just lay back and float in water. So from the moment he woke up, he had to physically tread water non-stop. There was absolutely no rest, no breaks. Every second of every minute and every hour, there was effort to stay above water. And honestly, once he said that he didn't know how to float, that's when this situation came terrifying to imagine being in. I just couldn't imagine it. At first, he tried to make sense of where he was, but there was nothing to look at. No ship, no land, no direction, just open water. The time started to stretch, minutes turned into hours, and the physical toll of treading water started to build up. His body was getting tired, the water was super cold. It wasn't freezing, but it was cold enough to slowly drain his energy over time. And at some point, he had to make the hard decision to start removing his clothing because it was weighing him down. Hoping that this would help him stay afloat, even if it's just a little bit easier. At this point, he wanted to try anything to help him conserve energy. But the crazy part is the ocean doesn't stay calm. At different points in the night, he felt things brushing up against him. He was stung by multiple jellyfish. He felt something bump his leg, which he described as having a flat mouth, which he thinks it could have been a shark. Honestly, I don't know how someone keeps it together, in a situation like this. I don't know if I could do it, y'all. I don't know. Especially at night and not knowing what's underneath you or what's coming or what just stung you. And let's not forget, the entire time, this dude had to keep moving. He could not stop treading water. So as the hours passed and James is trying to stay calm, another problem set in was the salt water. It was constantly getting in his mouth and he couldn't escape it. At one point, he found a piece of debris, something like bamboo that was floating in the water. He started chewing on that just to help get the taste of the salt water out of his mouth. That's how long he had been out there, and that's how desperate things started to get for him. By now, it had been most of the night. Then morning came and he was still out there, still treading water, still no ships in sight, still only ocean in all directions. And honestly, I think most people mentally break before even reaching this point. Like for real, most people wouldn't make it. Your body's breaking down. You're constantly drinking salt water, which is terrible for you. His energy was almost gone, but this man kept going hour after hour. So back on the ship, his family finally realized that he was missing. A search was started right away. The US Coast Guard was notified. They began searching the area looking for any sign of him, but the ocean is massive, and finding one person floating in open water is nearly close to impossible. As the day went on, chances of survival kept dropping. Time, temperature, exhaustion, all these things working against him. Then, late on Thanksgiving Day, almost 20 hours after he disappeared and been treading water, a random passive tanker ship called the Apex Maverick spotted something that looked weird in the water. It was James, alive. And honestly, the fact that a random tanker ship just happened to see someone's head bobbing above water is almost impossible. So he was pulled from the ocean after nearly spending 20 hours treading water. He was suffering from hypothermia, shock, severe exhaustion, but he was alive. He was later airlifted from the tanker by the Coast Guard to receive medical care. And against almost all odds, he survived. Even now, there's no clear answer about how he went overboard. There were no confirmed witnesses and no exact moment that was captured publicly. But what we do know is that he was alone, it was late at night, and something caused him to go over the railing.